In problem 2, we're given an acceleration function in meters per second squared for 12 seconds. And we're told that the object starts from rest at time t equals 0. That's the problem telling us that the initial velocity, v naught, is 0 meters per second. And the question is, how long does it take to go 100 meters? So now we're finishing with a question about the position. So how long says what time is the position 100 meters. So let's see what we get. So we start with our acceleration of negative 0.6 t plus 4 meters per second squared. We know that if we integrate this, we'll get the velocity. So v of t will be, we'll integrate negative 0.6 t, so 0.3 t squared plus 4t plus v0 meters per second. So when we integrate the acceleration, we end up with the velocity. V naught, the initial velocity, will be the constant of integration. But in this case, the initial velocity is 0 meters per second, so we can get rid of this. If we integrate again, this will give us the position, s of t. So we integrate again, we'll have negative 0.1 t cubed plus 2 t squared plus some initial position. The question is, how long will it take the object to go 100 meters? So we might as well start from 0 and figure out how long it takes s of t to get to 100. We can start anywhere we want because what we're more concerned with is the difference in the starting values and the ending values. So we're going to say, let's start from 0. Let's start from 0 and go 100 meters. We can start from wherever we want, but the question is, how long does it take to go 100 meters from wherever we started from? So I want to get rid of the S0, and I only care about this position function. So how long is a question about time to go 100 meters. So in terms of this problem, we want to solve s of t is equal to 100. So we just want to solve the equation negative 0.1 t cubed plus 2t squared is equal to 100. Any questions? For this, it's a cubic equation. So we can either look up our cubic formula, but no one is ever required to remember that, or we're going to do our favorite technique, use a machine. All right. So I'm going to look at a graph of this function. Now we only care about what's going on from 0 to 12. We see we have 3 zeros. We see the graph has 3 zeros at negative 6.18. Oh, I should be clear. I'm looking for zeros of negative 0.1 t cubed plus 2t squared minus 100 equals 0. So The reason that I want to look at this and not is because I want to look for the x-intercepts rather than going all the way up to 100 and try to look for where this graph crosses 100. So I'm just going to look for the zeros here. And we can see there's a 0 at negative 6.18. 10 and 16.18. So here are the three zeros. Oh, I talked about the graph. The graph has three x-intercepts. This goes along with our X-Man theme. So we see that the graph has three x-intercepts. We only care about the ones between 0 and 12. So 10 seconds is the only one between 0 and 12. So this is the acceleration for t between 0 and 12. So I only care about getting values between 0 and 12. So 10 seconds. Any questions? So the cubic formula would just be an extension of the quadratic formula. So we know that if we have ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, that x equals the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. But what if we have a cubic equation, ax cubed plus bx squared plus cx plus d equals 0? So there should be maybe there's some formula that we just never got taught. Since we don't know, we'll just use a machine. Or we could rely on our techniques of algebra and try to factor our polynomial. Looks like it has a factor of t minus 10, so that's handy. But we'd have to know that going in to start factoring it. So, any questions?
So why did you show the quadratic formula again?
Oh, someone asked about the cubic formula.
Oh, okay.
Because I made an offhand remark like, well, we got to solve this cubic equation. Well, I'm actually solving this cubic equation, and we're going to do it by using a machine, since we don't know what the cubic formula is. Unless someone does know the cubic formula. Does anybody know it?
Wait, it doesn't exist or exists?
I don't know. Actually, I know, but now you're wondering about it. Any questions? See, there is one. All right, let's pause the video here and talk about the next problem.